The following show contains views and opinions that may not be suitable for all audiences. Audience discretion is advised.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to Thespian Talk. I am your host, Gomer the Ranting Thespian, and my co-host with me is the Cat.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, got just the two of us this week. Aaron is off doing something. I hope he's having fun. Unlike a lot of fuckers that are going to have to not have so much fun the day after this goes up, because this goes up, they usually go up Mondays. And, well, this week is Election Day, where we in America, we get together and we decide who the least foul-smelling pile of shit that they've offered up to us to become president or governor or senator or whatever races are running, depends on your state and your area. We pick the freshest pile of shit out of the bunch and we vote for them. I know Aaron and I voted early. Kat, were you able to vote early, or is Missouri not an early vote state?
I think we can vote early, but I am actually taking the day off to go vote, just because I want to get that I voted sticker and then go get a free cup of coffee from Starbucks and whatever other free things you get. And so I'm going to take the rest of the day to run some errands and stuff.
Well, there you go. And now it just clicked to me. Wait, you mentioned that last week?
Yes, I did, but that's okay. Some people might not have heard last week,
there you go.
Are for some reason very interested in what I'm going to do on voting day.
Yeah, I know. After I went and I voted, I just went and just kind of went around a little bit. Just hung out, whatever. So yeah, that's all going to be happening. And here's hoping that we vote in such a direction that does not take us into 1,000 years of darkness. Everybody who listens to this show, if you've listened for a while, you know which way I'm talking. But, for others, it could be interpreted differently. Unfortunately. And I say unfortunately, not because you have a different opinion, but the way you think would not lead to 1,000 years of darkness. It's anti-Trump. I'm just going to say it there. Just cut through the bullshit. So yeah, Kat, how's your week been?
It's okay. I may or may not have something really fucked up with my foot again, but with the other foot. So I'm kind of holding my breath and hoping it feels better.
Oh no. That's the last thing anybody needs is foot problems.
Yeah, I mean, not just foot problems, but more foot problems. Because it's not bad enough that I've sprained my ankle 12 times and have chronic tendonitis. Now I have to go fuck up my other foot, too.
Oh, goddamn.
Yep.
So, yeah, and oof. So, as for me, for those who if you hear any sort of humming or buzzing in the background, first of all, I do apologize, because I am on the road. I'm sitting in at a truck stop rather, with some decent Wi-Fi. It's actually stayed connected constantly, and I'm also running a reefer trailer. That's those refrigerator trailers, and this one has to constantly keep going because I have a load on me. And it has to stay at a certain temperature. So if you hear that in the background, we did a couple of tests. I did one independently, and Kat has told me she doesn't hear it. So odds are it may not get in the show, but if it does, I do apologize, and that's what it is. It's actually a pretty quiet truck stop. I haven't heard very many truckers idling out here, so it's not too awful bad. Oh, So yes, so we do have a little bit of housekeeping to take care of course, at the beginning of every show. If you are a patron of mine, patreon.com/Gomer21XX, you can actually, if you pledge enough to me on Patreon, you can get, little ad spaces in all of the things that I do, ranging from, like a little picture ad and YouTube videos, or, always links in the doobly-doos. And, of course, in a podcast, you can't really promote it on a video. I mean, even though there are video versions of this particular show that go up, or they're supposed to. I'm behind on the YouTube archive, but even then, it's meant to be mostly audio. So of course, you got to do an audio thing, and I do have one such patron at I think it's the $15 a month level, who throws $15 a month at me, and her name is Beth Cody. She has a podcast called Invest with Beth. It's a little behind on updating, but things get busy. I mean, hell, we know what it's like to have a schedule slip, so that's always fine and dandy. But maybe people go and listen to her, and express some interest, maybe hopefully she'll be able to do more. And even though it is a real estate investment podcast, for like advice for real estate investment and that sort of thing. If you want to get into all of that, she has some good advice, some good interviews with people, and it's generally entertaining to begin with. So you can find all that at investwithbeth.com. That plus the iTunes link where you can go and subscribe on iTunes. Going to be in the doobly-doo, as always. This other one, they don't pay me for anything, but I believe enough in what they do that I'd like to shout them out on the show anyway. CirclePlus.co. It is run by Holly Christine and Lady Jess. Go and check it out. It is basically internet content by women, for women, for everybody, but produced by women, with the occasional man slipping in there every now and then for crossovers, like the Escape from Monster High series that Miss Nightmare does, because I think she does that with Aaron. But anyway, CirclePlus.co, and of course they have their own like main podcast, Late Night with Bisexuals, which I accidentally called Late Night with Lesbians at one point because I was an idiot and my brain was a little too far behind the times, because Lady Jess was going to do a podcast called Late Night with Lesbians, and my brain did not vault forward when they started Late Night with Bisexuals at one point. So yeah, I fully admit that I fucked up on that one. But yes, CirclePlus.co, and again, they don't pay me anything. They don't do anything. I do it out of the goodness of my heart for them. But yeah, with all of that kind of goes into the shout outs as well, and I'm gonna guess Kat does not have one.
That's correct.
Yeah. One of those running bits, although every now and then you surprise me, so I gotta ask. So yeah, again, if you want like the actual ad type spot or whatever, $15 a month on Patreon will get you one. And not just this, but also on all the other videos and everything else that I do as well. So it's a lot of potential spots, depending on how busy a month of mine can get, because I am on the road. So now I do have a bit of inbox mail. It came to my personal one, and it is a bit more me-centric considering the subject matter. It's not political, thankfully, but it is kind of known that I am a big Mega Man fanboy. So somebody had asked me this one, knowing this, and it's like, you know what? I'll just answer it on the show, because why not? It'll be a little easier for me. And I got this one from Roberto Zampari on Tumblr, and they ask, I guess do you think that Mega Man Star Force is a Magical Boy game or anime? Same applies with Mega Man ZX. Do you expect this formula to be applied for the future Mega Man incarnations? For those who don't know, Mega Man Star Force and Mega Man ZX, those particular series, you have a main character who's, more humanoid. In the case of the Star Force series, you have an actual human who merges with the Mega Man of that particular series. I think in Star Force it's Omega X's, I think. I didn't get much into Star Force, unfortunately. But in Mega Man ZX and its sequel, ZX Advent, you have biometals that you can use to kind of merge with your own body, and you become like for example, like a form of Mega Man X or Zero or some of the Guardians from the Mega Man Zero series. That it's kind of those things there. But as whether it is a Magical Boy game or anime, that I might need Kat's help on that one, because I know you're more of the anime, and of course Magical Boy, Magical Girl, that is more of an anime thing. Based on what I have said, do you think that would apply to those games, those series?
A little bit. Okay. I guess I didn't really understand anything that was just said, so.
Yeah, like I said, I know this is definitely a more me-centric thing, but it is a good thing that you are here, because I'm not. I mean, I think Magical Girl, I think Sailor Moon. That's about all I think of, and I don't want to necessarily base it on just that one particular anime, whether it's good.
I mean,
yeah.
Is there a transformation sequence?
For the first couple of times it happens in ZX, yes. But when you do it like in game, it's just like a quick change. But
That's a little bit magical girly.
okay, so ZX and probably by extension Star Force probably would fall under that. And let's see, do I expect the same formula to be applied for future Mega Man incarnations? I'm gonna honestly, I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting to see, depending on what they want to do with it. Personally, I would love to see it. If we're gonna keep going like the Magical Girl, Magical Boy route for future Mega Man games or whatever, why not extend it to like all the old Robot Masters from the original series? Because that would be kind of neat. See somebody get like a thing and they turn into like a form of like say Gutsman or something, have super strength and all that. That would be kind of neat. But as far as it actually being applied, I don't know. Considering Capcom is kind of mostly hands off with Mega Man lately, they're just not really doing anything with them. I don't know. So, but yeah, like I said, Mega Man centric thing with actually Kat was actually more of a help than I thought she would be, because kind of combines both anime and Mega Man, which, well, there are Mega Man animes, so. So yes. And again, if you want to send in questions or thoughts or whatever, that one came from my personal Tumblr, which I will answer from those from time to time if I feel that I can put it into the show and feel I can answer it better vocally than I can just typing in something. But I do have a specific one for the show. It is thespiantalk.tumblr.com. Askbox is always open. There's also a submission where you can send in links or what have you if you want us to talk about certain things. Just go ahead and send them on in whenever, well, odds are we'll read them on the show. I think I would say like probably about 98% of things that would get in there, we would probably read out on the show and talk about. So if you send it in, chances are good you'll be able to hear us talk about it or answer your question. Whew. So with all of that said, let's get into the news for this week. Speaking of people who send in things, this first news story was actually sent in. The news article was published in Louisville, Kentucky, but it takes place in southern Indiana, which, it's close enough. A volunteer firefighter is charged with setting more than a dozen suspicious fires over the last week in southern Indiana. Over several days, brush fires were set near Leavenworth and Crawford County. On Wednesday night, 27-year-old Brian Stonecipher was arrested and charged with several counts of arson and criminal mischief. Investigators say Stonecipher is a Leavenworth volunteer firefighter and would go out and fight the fires after setting them. He's accused in 15 arsons, including one in March on Hoosier National Forest property and 2 attempted fires at a vacant church. Okay, dude, I understand you need to practice. Firefighters need to practice. Stay up on their game. But they have ways of setting controlled fires, where your little training dealie is. I would imagine it's like that everywhere. I mean, even Podunk little town. I mean, my hometown has, volunteers. I think that's all they have is like volunteer firefighters. I'm pretty sure they go out to some guy's field and set a controlled fire to put it out to practice. It's all controlled, all city mandated, etc., 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 all nice and legal. This guy is just setting fires. Oh, I'll put it out. Shh. No. Kat, do you have any thoughts so far?
Probably setting fires and then putting them out to stroke his ego. Like, oh, look, I'm so good at putting out fires. I'm a hero.
Yeah.
You're crazy, dude.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Like I said, I mean, you have the means to do it without committing arson. Who's just take advantage of that, man. That's all I gotta say. And speaking of people doing kind of really stupid things, this one comes out of New Zealand. Christchurch police have been ordered to remove more than 300 liters of alcohol they poured down a drain. How are you going to remove them all after they've been poured down the drain? I wonder. But we'll get to that. Police confiscated 343 liters of grog from a Christchurch restaurant in June after it was caught displaying alcohol for sale without a license. Like you do. Alcohol was tipped out at the Central Christchurch Police Station on Thursday after the Christchurch District Court issued a destruction order. The haul of booze, worth about $20,000, included French champagnes, $800 red wines, an expensive cognac, and 18-year-old whiskey. Oh, God, so much alcohol wasted. Oh, and that whiskey, oh, my God. If I'm not drinking lambic, I'm drinking whiskey.
Whiskey is delicious.
Yes. It was tipped into a vehicle wash bay drain, which led to a 1,000-liter holding tank connected to the sewerage system. But the Christchurch City Council on Friday ordered the alcohol's removal. The alcohol is in the sewer system. You know, it's all liquidy and mixed in with the liquid. Unless it never leaves that holding tank, you're good luck getting the alcohol out of there. The council, however, does not accept this type of raw, undiluted waste into the sewer network, and we have notified the New Zealand police to have their tanks sucked out by a waste disposal company immediately where it can be treated off-site appropriately. Police have agreed and have actioned this immediately, Council Waters and Waste Head John Mackey said. Okay, so that's how they're going to do it. Police Alcohol Harm Reduction Unit Sergeant John Harris earlier said anything entering the drains there went through a series of filters before entering holding tanks. A police spokeswoman said the nation's vehicle wash facilities were required to have a trade waste consent and an approved treatment system for disposing water to the city's wastewater system. The wash water goes into the sewerage system, not the stormwater drains, therefore has no impact on water waste, she said. The Christchurch City Council Water Supply, Wastewater, and Stormwater Bylaw 2014 states no one may allow anything that causes or is likely to cause a nuisance to enter the stormwater system, either directly or indirectly, unless authorized by the council. And yeah, apparently I can read today. So, you have a lot of alcohol. You need to get rid of it. I can understand why they would pour it down the drain. That's what most people would do, I think. If you have to get rid of it and you can't just give it to somebody else. I mean, am I wrong on that? With it being like, understandable that they would just pour it down the drain?
Could they not just remove it? Like they had to dispose of it? They couldn't just remove it from the premises, I guess?
Yeah, it's just why so much and again, so much alcohol is wasted. $20,000. I mean, if the cops can't hold on to it, they hold auctions for all sorts of other shit. Why not for alcohol? I mean, I'm sure they could get a license, even a temporary one, to do this, so it's all nice and legal. So, instead of wasting all of that, $800 red wines, expensive cognac, holy shit!
You'd think there would be a solution that didn't involve destroying a bunch of perfectly nice alcohol.
Yeah. Just, no! Oh, no. And speaking of stupid things done with police, although the police were not the ones doing the stupid thing this time, we get to go to Florida. Hooray!
Oh, goody.
Yes, take a shot. And take a shot and be thankful it was not poured down the New Zealand systems and having to be wasted. A Florida man remains behind bars after faking an emergency to get back into his hotel room. The Fort Myers man called 911 requesting an ambulance for his 4-year-old daughter, who was supposedly choking on candy and alone. He told the dispatcher he was locked out of his room at the Crestwood Suites and there wasn't anyone at the hotel available to help him back into the room. When the dispatcher asked the man if his daughter was breathing, he responded he did not know since he locked himself out. The fire department, paramedics, and deputies responded with emergency lights and sirens activated to find the man was not waiting outside for assistance. Deputies went to the room number given to them by the man who made the call. Deputies say nothing was heard inside the room and no one was around. If somebody is choking and they're about passed out, you wouldn't hear anything, which is the scary part. According to a police report, the man claiming to be the caller came around the corner, and when he saw the crew, said all of this, referencing to the multitude of personnel at the motel, was not necessary. When deputies asked the man about the child, he said there was no child in the room, admitting he lied about his daughter because he locked himself out of the room and simply wanted to get back in. Deputies were given access to the room by hotel management. Fail, fail, fail on this fucker. Once inside the room, deputies found only items belonging to the man who called. Yeah. Making it clear there were no signs of an emergency, he was arrested for misuse of the 911 system. Okay. I've been in some shit hotels in my life. I've been in some shit motels in my life. But not, it is pretty much a universal thing. If you accidentally lock yourself out of your room, when you check in, you have to show them your ID. You have to show that, you have to give them a credit card if you pay with credit card like I do. Well, I say credit card, my debit card, but close enough. So they'll know who you are. All you have to do is go up, here's my ID, I'm in this room number, double check, I got locked out, and there you go. Even late at night, there is going to be somebody there in case of an emergency. You don't need to call 911 to get back in your hotel room, and you don't need to make up a fake daughter. Well, assuming that he doesn't have one. I don't know if he really has one, but the daughter in this story is a fake. Kat, your thoughts?
Every time I hear, somebody... Okay, first off, hopefully this guy was, shit-faced when he made this decision, because there is no sane person who would think this is a good idea. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But just think about what could have happened. It's scary. It's scary to think that somebody could have died because the paramedics and stuff were dispatched out here because a guy got fucking locked out of his hotel room. Just go to the counter in shame and ask them to get back into the room. Just fucking do it.
Yeah, I mean, and hell, just within the past year, I accidentally locked myself out of my truck. Because for a while I had a habit of leaving the key in, and two of my habits actually kind of collided on each other. Because when I'm in my car, of course I take in the key and I lock the car. But when I'm in the truck, I would usually leave the key in, especially if I'm just going in and out real quick. Well, both of them collided at the same time, and I locked my key in the truck. I don't have a spare one, unfortunately. So what I did, I let my dispatcher know. I said, hey, locked myself out. Let's do something about this. And we got it done. I didn't call 911. I didn't say, yeah, there's a baby something dying in my truck and I'm locked in. I'm locked out. And also, I would think if somebody was really locked in his room, depending on how far, how far she has suffered with choking, I would think even a 4-year-old would at least try to open the door and possibly get it open, unless she's at a point where she's like half passed out. So I mean, yeah, it is possible for somebody to really be choking and nearly passed out and or dying in a room and not get to the door. But at the same time, it's like, either way, this guy's story was bullshit, and and another example of people just tying up 911. And the thing is, these news stories, obviously they go out on the internet, because hey, we're getting them, and we put it out there a little bit more, hopefully a lot more, and there are other shows, other news shows and everything out there that will pick up this stuff and spread it out. Obviously, nobody is listening, which is kind of the scary thing. Speaking of, we'll keep with the theme of police and law enforcement, because this one is out in El Paso, Texas. Woohoo! El Paso, isn't that also a brand of taco mixes and such?
Old El Paso.
Old El Paso, yeah. Yeah. So, officials in El Paso have belatedly acknowledged that they fell victim to an email scam that directed $3.2 million in city money to fraudulent bank accounts.
Wow.
Hate to tell you guys, but there's no such thing as a Nigerian prince. And if there is a Nigerian prince, he wouldn't be emailing your ass for money, let me tell you. Officials said during a news conference Wednesday that phishing emails caused 2 separate payments for a downtown streetcar project to be diverted. City leaders learned of the scam in early October and that it involved someone posing as a vendor to obtain payment. They initially said law enforcement asked them not to notify the public of the scam, but then clarified Wednesday that no such request was made. Authorities have recovered most of the money, and the city, for the time being, has reverted to issuing paper checks to vendors. Okay, so at the very least, they've got most of the money back, which is good. Good on them. But just, wow! You would think they would have some way of maybe checking and vetting a lot of these things. You know, because it's not just like you or me who may not have access to it, but this is a city. And El Paso is not a small town. Not the last time I passed through it. And you would think they would have some sort of technology or something. Or maybe just a little bit more common sense to actually go and vet. And in a way this can work, a totally different thing, but like say, people on YouTube, sometimes we'll get copyright strikes against us for whatever videos we do. It's mostly like Let's Players, reviewers, that sort of thing. And I got some recently on an older video, surprisingly. And I got it from this one group, and they've been notorious for having, for putting out like false claims or whatever, just so they can earn whatever little ad revenue you can give them because, well, in my case, they're not going to get anything. I get more through Patreon than I do through YouTube. Let me just say that. So, but, I got to do my due diligence, otherwise they think that it's okay to just, steamroll all over me. So the first time I saw this company, I didn't think, okay, you know what, this is, just give in and let them have their way. No. I did my research. I found out who they are, what they represent. I found out that they didn't represent any of the content they're trying to claim, and I acted accordingly. And that's similar to what these guys should have done. Somebody who's posing as a vendor. Okay, this vendor here. Okay, let's talk with the actual vendor they're supposedly doing. Google is your friend. Kat, do you have anything to add?
It's hard to believe in this day and age people still fall for this stuff. Makes me wonder who it was who actually fell for this. If it was just one person or if it was several people. Maybe it was just a oversight or somebody, like one person just fucked everything up themselves.
Yeah, all it takes is one. Oh, just wow. But at least they're able to get some of the money back. So or most of the money back. So, good on them for being able to turn it around and take steps to prevent it in the future. But yeah, Google is your friend. Let's use it a little bit more often. And I also say this to myself. I do sometimes get guilty of Google foo fails. So it's just as much to me as to everybody else. So let's go back to Florida, because yes, we must, and Florida also has a little, it's got a lot of crazy, but in this case we have some naked crazy. Woo! Boynton Beach, Florida. A South Florida man was arrested on Halloween after he was driving naked through a Boynton Beach neighborhood with electrical wires protruding from his penis, police said. I know everybody's first question. It's mine too. Why does he have the wires? Let's see if we find out. Kurt Jenkins, 56, faces charges of lewd and lascivious exhibition, exposure of sexual organs, and resisting a law enforcement officer without violence. According to a Boynton Beach police report, a witness called police to complain of a naked man who was driving slowly through the neighborhood. The witness said the naked man, later identified as Jenkins, pulled up alongside him and gestured for him to look at Jenkins's groin area. I'm imagining he just drives up. Hey, take a look at this. You like this? Yeah, I got these wires on my dick. What you think? You think they make it look good? Think women like it? Do you like it? You want to pull on the wires? According to the report, the witness said Jenkins opened the passenger door and asked him to get inside. Hey, get in here and pull these wires. The witness declined, but took a photograph of Jenkins naked behind the wheel. Apparently, Jenkins didn't think to stop him and all of that. Maybe, well, then again, he's that much of an exhibitionist. He's like, oh, hey, man, yeah, you take all pictures you want. I'm proud of my penis. Police said Jenkins made several passes through the neighborhood, slowing down, almost to a complete stop, as several children from a nearby school were dropped off. Well, there's a line that was crossed. Hi, kids, you want to come play with Mr. Donkey Ears? Police, When police arrived and ordered Jenkins to get on the ground, he refused. Officer Antonio Donino wrote in his report. Officers then grabbed Jenkins and took him to the ground, handcuffing him with his hands behind his back, the report said. He's being held at Palm Beach County Jail. He's expected to appear in bond court Wednesday morning, which I assume he did. But it starts off almost comparatively innocently enough. It's like, hey, look at my dick and look at all these wires out of it. And then you get kids involved. And we still don't know why he has electrical wires. I have no idea. Kat, you have any thoughts?
What the fuck? Like, no, really, what the fuck? The world is like the weirdest place. I don't understand anything anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. And I don't even know. There's nothing that says why. There's no why. There is nothing. Goddamn. I don't know if it would help anything if we knew why he had wires on his dick, but okay, you know. And why children, dude? What the hell? What was your end game? But we'll stay in Florida, and we'll stay with Naked Crazy, because of course we do. And this one is a little closer to my home grounds. Seagrove Beach. A naked man was charged with disorderly intoxication after residents of the Grand Isle condominiums complained about him October 28th. The 27-year-old from White Pine, Tennessee, was banging on windows and doors, according to his Walton County Sheriff's Office arrest report. I swear I can read. When deputies arrived, the man was completely naked and appeared to be extremely intoxicated, so alcohol was a factor in this one. His speech was slurred and he could not walk straight, deputies reported. He was holding an unopened can of Coors beer and said he didn't know how much he'd consumed or where he was staying. He's banging on doors because he was looking for someone to have sexual intercourse with, he told police. His clothes were found in the parking lot. I've done some stupid things while drunk. Not overly stupid, not get me in trouble drunk, things. But I've done stupid things. But this is not one of them. And I will be completely honest. I have been sexually repressed to the... repressed may not be the word I want, but that's what I'm going to go with for right now. To the point to where I have actually thought, while driving around, hey, I'm going to go up to this door, I'm going to knock, and I'm going to say, hey, do you have somebody in there I can have sex with? Good sense prevails, because that would probably, at the very least, get a door slammed in my face, if not decked off the damn lawn, or wherever I happen to be. Common sense prevails. Unfortunately, this guy lost it when he got drunk. I understand being horny. I understand being drunk and horny. This guy, what the fuck? Kat, any thoughts?
Why are all of these stories naked men? What is going on?
I don't know. I think these are men that are just, maybe they're insecure in their masculinity and feel like they have to show it off by being naked. I don't know.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Put some pants on, America.
Yes.
Make America pants again.
Yes, make America pants again. Let's do that. Unless you like wearing skirts, then you can wear. Then skirts are also an option.
Yeah.
Pants, skirts, cover them up because winter is coming.
Seriously, no, it's gonna get cold. You can't just walk around with your genitals exposed because it's cold. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
If for no other reason than it's cold.
Yeah. Even in the Florida Panhandle, the Florida taint, shit gets cold there. It does. Not as cold as it does in Chicago, but it gets cold. Oh. And oh god. This one. I put it in here. And I know it's out of Gulfport, Mississippi. An attorney is suing a popular fried chicken fast food restaurant chain after he choked on a piece of chicken. Attorney Paul Newton Jr. tells local news he ordered a combo that included 2 chicken breasts, a side, a biscuit, and a soft drink at a Gulfport area Popeyes restaurant. The order also came with napkins, salt and pepper, and a spork. Because Newton's order did not include a plastic knife, plaintiff Newton's only option for consumption of the chicken breasts was to hold the chicken breast in his hands and to tear off pieces thereof with his teeth, the lawsuit states. Time out! No! That is not your only option, sir. That is never... Okay, teeth are not your only option with fried chicken. You are in Mississippi. You are in the South. Okay? Do you understand how Southerners eat chicken? We have several ways of eating fried chicken. The teeth is one way, and it is a legitimate way. That is fine. But I personally, when I have chicken breasts, you know what I do? I tear that shit off with my fucking hands. I peel it back, peel off a piece. Oh, there you go. I don't go in for my teeth with like chicken breasts, mainly because if I haven't shaved in a while, I get hair in there. I don't like chewing on my own beard. Let me just say that. And this is Popeyes. They have meals that odds are, you're going to need a knife for. And even at the drive-thru, you can ask for one. And if you're doing this in restaurants, you could still ask for one if they don't have it in one of those little cubbies that they have all the plasticware in. You did not think to say, "Hey, I need a plastic knife. Could I get one?" I mean, and I'm assuming that he went through a drive-thru, and we'll get to why in just a second. Newton claims he then began choking on the chicken breast, which led to an emergency surgery at a local hospital. The lawsuit demands Popeyes pay for all of Newton's medical bills, plus his pain and suffering. He's also suing to force the fast food chain to include plastic knives in all future drive-thru orders so customers can cut their purchased food orders into appropriate portions. And that's where I assume he went through drive-thru. Even through drive-thru, you could say, "Hey, I need a plastic knife because I like to cut my chicken up." And to have it put in with all future orders, they have nuggets or popcorn chicken or strips or something similar to that you're not supposed to need a knife for. That's the point of fast food fried chicken. For the most part, you're supposed to be able to just pick it up and eat it with your bare hands. That's what fried chicken is for. I mean, you can use a knife, sure. That's fine and dandy. Like I said, that's a valid way to eat it. But if they don't give it to you, don't just pull off and whatever, ask for one. And you're a lawyer. I'm assuming you went drive-thru and you probably went to your home or your office or something. I can't speak to your office, but I'm pretty sure being a lawyer, you have at least one set of silverware at home. You could have grabbed one of your knives there. Kat, any thoughts?
First off, why do you live in Gulfport and eat at Popeyes? Are you telling me you legitimately cannot find better chicken in your area? Because I don't believe you.
Oh. I can hear fans of Popeyes right now. Oh, no, you didn't.
No, trust me. I love Popeyes, but that's because I live in the Midwest, and we are not known in St. Louis for fried chicken. But you're telling me seriously, you live in Mississippi, in the actual South, and you don't have better fried chicken somewhere nearby. So it just makes me think, absolutely, he made the choice to go there. He's probably eaten there on numerous occasions, and all of a sudden decides, "Oh, I'm gonna sue because I wolfed down my food too fast and choked on." What the fuck, dude? You're a douchebag.
Yeah, total agreement there. Just
I can sympathize, with how much medical bills cost. But this is just some shit that happens. In no way in any parallel universe is this Popeyes' fault. It might not be this guy's fault either. It's just sometimes shit happens. And to go sue Happy over it so that you don't have to pay your medical bills, you're a fucking lawyer. Are you not making enough money? Seriously?
Yeah, just dude, you can most likely afford your medical bills. Most likely, I think. If I'm wrong, please tell me and show me the work, let me know. But you can probably afford your medical bills. That's all I'm saying. And just due diligence, man. Due diligence. You should know this. You should know the law enough to know this. This is not gonna fly in a court. And if it does fly in a court, even in Mississippi, then I hope you just fuck you. What's his name? Paul Newton Jr. Paul Newton Jr. Fuck you. So our final news story, I admit I kept this kind of in there as kind of a thing to, if we needed it, then we could just put it in, depending on how time went. Well, if you're hearing this, and you know where the time is on here now. So, yeah, because I normally don't delve into things like Gawker or whatever, at least not in depth on this show, celebrity type stuff, which this kind of touches on a little bit, but, I don't normally do it, but I did for this one, and you'll see why as I go through this. This one I found on Mediaite.com, I think is the name of the site. I think that's how you pronounce it. But speaking at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. Monday morning, Peter Thiel defended his decision to fund lawsuits against Gawker Media that bankrupted the company earlier this year, and there was much rejoicing. After Gawker published several stories that cast Thiel's business in an unflattering light, including one that outed him as gay, the tech mogul surreptitiously, I have trouble pronouncing that word.
Surreptitiously. No, hold on. I had it and then it was gone. Surreptitiously. Surreptitiously,
thank you. He surreptitiously bankrolled Hulk Hogan's invasion of privacy suit against the company. And for clarity, Gawker had published a video of the former wrestler having sex. Thiel justified that decision, saying he believed in the justice of the case and that Hogan lacked the financial resources to seek recourse. First of all, the video, I think it was more than just him having sex. I think he was also going on a racist tirade too. And if I remember right, that did cost him work with whatever wrestling federation he was working with, wrestling company or whatever. He's not a good person, but still, invasion of privacy should extend even to him. But here's where things get me. If you're a single-digit millionaire like Hulk Hogan, you have no effective access to our legal system, he said. It costs too much. Never mind the millions and upon millions of citizens who aren't even making 6 digits a year, not having effective access to our legal system. But Hulk Hogan, who makes at least 7 digits, a year, just like, dude, and maybe those court costs are that high, legitimately that high, and I could understand that, but just the way this comes across to me, it's like, oh, he can't have effective access to the legal system. Never mind the fact that there are so many other people that have it so much worse than this in terms of the legal system. I feel like that in order for anything to get done, if somebody like you or me were needing to get something into the courts, we need a fucking class action lawsuit. We need to raise up money to pay a lawyer and all that, and it's just, dude, and maybe he doesn't mean anything harmful by it. Maybe he just wasn't thinking, and I will grant that. Just that line right there just comes off like, really, dude, really, word choice, man, word choice. That just no.
Yeah, do it if you're gonna do it, but at least be honest about it.
Yeah, it's like, and if he, and like I said, if he really can't afford more than what he is making or what he's worth right now, and legitimately can't, it's fine. Just, again, words, dude. Watch your words. Thiel also accused former Gawker editor-in-chief A.J. Daulerio of behaving like an aspiring child pornographer, a reference to a crude joke Daulerio made during a 2013 deposition. Thiel dismissed the notion that his litigation against Gawker could scare off other media outlets from publishing stories that might offend the deep-pocketed. Gawker was a singularly sociopathic bully, he said. One class of people they especially hated were other reporters, other writers, he said. He added that some of his friends in the media encouraged him to pursue the litigation because of the site's propensity for publishing stories that attacked powerful media figures. I strongly believe in the First Amendment. I believe journalists are a privileged group in our society. They play an important role in getting us information in our system of checks and balances, he said. These were not journalists, he said. So, yeah. I've heard more. Pardon me. I've heard plenty about the whole Gawker thing, how they got taken down, and their ethics that are from what I've understood are kind of in the shitter. I mean, and there is kind of a reason why I don't think there are very many stories that I've had on the show over the last few years that have been from Gawker. I don't think. But that's one of those reasons why. It's like, they're a little dubious. And it's just, no. So, yay, Gawker is gone. They're one of those things that... And again, the reason why we even know about Hulk Hogan and his sex tape and his racist tirade or whatever that got him fired is because Gawker pulled some really, really... Just basically invasion of privacy. They got the tape, and it's a private thing, not meant to be public. And from what I understand, either Hogan or somebody who represented him said, "Hey, don't put this out there. You legally, should not be allowed to put that out there." But they did anyway, and so it's like boom, lawsuit and all that happens. From what I understand, I think they did eventually end up settling out of court for like 21-something million. I think. I don't have the number in front of me there, so yeah. So with all of the Gawker stuff in this article that was gone over, do you have any thoughts, Kat?
It's just good that they're gone. That guy was right. Gawker is not journalists. It is not. We've talked about this before on my other podcast, What the Fuck. We've had extensive talks about Gawker, but they are not journalists. They are not good people either, and I have no sympathy for what happened to them, because invasion of privacy does not a article make, and God, pieces of shit everywhere. So I'm glad Gawker is gone, and I don't think it sets a bad precedent for actual journalists not to report the truth. It's fine.
Yeah.
But Hulk Hogan is not a one-digit millionaire who needs help, so fuck that too.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he still has merchandise of his own out there. I think he can. I think he'll be able to manage. Like I said, if I'm wrong and he actually did need the help, fine, I would be wrong. But and if this guy wants to help him, this Peter Thiel, you know what? More power to you. You want to help him? That's fine. Like we said when we paused at the middle of the article, just be honest about it. You don't put out things like if you're a single digit, you have no effective access, when you should know pretty good and well that there are millions of others that have even less effective access to the legal system than Hulk Hogan or any other single digit millionaire. So just mind your words. That's one of the things there. That's the lesson to be learned from that one. So with that is going to be it for our show for this week. Probably a little shorter than normal, but that's okay. Sometimes we have short shows. Sometimes they go a little longer. Sometimes they go a little shorter. It's just how the flow goes. Hopefully things will sound decent by the time this gets put up. The connection decided it wanted to try and a little bit here and there, but hopefully that doesn't come through too awful bad when everything gets done. So yes. And also, one last bit of housekeeping before I go. Do if you haven't done so already, check out the YouTube channel. Got hopefully I think before I went on the road, I did put up the first of the cluster truck videos that are up there. Cluster truck, fun as hell game. And of course I do that. Okay, but that's enough of my shilling for myself for the moment. Kat, if we wanted to find you on the social medias and all that, where could we find you?
You can hit me up on the social medias on Twitter at LabyrinthCat and Facebook.com/NerdistCat. And then you can check out my other show that I always talk about when I'm on this show, which is What the Fuck, over on 1201beyond.com. And my other show that is completely different from this show, which is Nerd to the Third Power, over on YouTube and iTunes and This Week in Geek.
There you go. Wait, don't you have a video series too?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting about it because we haven't filmed anything lately. I do have a video series. It is called Your Favorite Anime Rocks. Our group is called the Positive Service Announcement Team. We're just trying to bring a little positivity into an otherwise kind of shitty, sometimes, fandom. You can check us out on Facebook, give us a like, and then head over to YouTube and check it out.
Yes, and I highly suggest it. It is awesome. And if you wanted to find me on the social medias, you can find me on the Twitters, the Tumblrs, and my YouTube channel, all at Gomer21XX. You can find my Facebook fan page, Gomer Ranting Thespian. That's where a lot of my stuff gets cross-posted and updated and all of that good stuff. You can find more of my material otherwise on rtgomer.com and nerdvice.com. I think I know I forgot to plug those two out last week. I don't know if I've been consistent on it lately, but yeah, you can find the stuff there too. And of course, there is also a fan art gallery. There's not a lot yet, but if you want fan art, and if you send it in or whatever, it'll be put over on the fan art gallery. The link is in the doobly-doo, along with all the other links and everything. And of course, if you want to help support the show a little bit more and get to a point to where I can do this without having to be on the road every week, then of course, patreon.com/Gomer21XX. And of course, that $15 a month gets you some pretty good ad space, good amount of ad space. So yeah. So with that, thank you guys for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the show. As much as weird as it's been feeling, but I feel it's good, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So take care, everybody, and until next time, this is Gomer, the Ranting Thespian, with the cat, signing off.
Thespian Talk is an RT Gomer Productions presentation. Our show's theme is Kick Shock by Kevin McLeod. Find out more at Incompetech.com. If you like this show and want to help support future episodes, head over to patreon.com/Gomer21XX. For a contribution as little as $1 per production, you can get early access to all future productions, as well as monthly Patreon-only vlogs and announcements. Our show's artwork was produced by the talented Becky Hopkins, who can be commissioned by going to patreon.com/BeckyHop. Check us out on iTunes or visit rtgomer.com for more great shows.